Welcome student in chapter 2 of standard 6 and introduction to operating system. First of all, we should know why we need an operating system and then we'll go on what is an operating system. As we all know, in our home, classroom, ground, when we are going to play, of course, nowadays you are not going to play. Okay, we need someone who can manage all things well. What will happen if on the cricket ground in a cricket team 11 players are there and all 11 wants to play at the same time? All 11 wants to batting, do the batting or do the bowling at the same time. There should be at least maximum two batsmen can be there on the pitch, or maximum only one bowler can be there on pitch. How 11 players can bowling at the same time, or how 11 players can bat same time? Not possible. The similar things are there at other places also. So of course we need some rules. We need a captain. We need a referee and other personals to manage the things well. In a similar manner, when we talk about the computer system, a computer which is kept before you, in front of you, okay, there are many small parts are there inside this computer system, right? Like your CPU, hard disk, motherboard, power supply, keyboard, monitor, and other additional devices. So, how these all things will get managed? Okay, so a piece of software called operating system is handling and managing all the things in a well mannered way, so you can utilize your computer system, your hardware, your software efficiently, and you can get the best output from the device. Now see here this diagram: hardware, then on the hardware a layer of operating system and system programs are there, and then application programs are there at the top. So the hardware is your, of course, the hardware devices, the physical component of computer system which you can see and touch. The next level is software, which is the operating system and other system programs. I will talk here about operating system only. Operating system is a software which is handling and managing your all the hardware component inside, okay, and making the interaction possible between your application program and the hardware, because your all the application programs are installed on a layer of system programs, and those system programs are in turn interact with the hardware, right? Here is the definition of operating system. An operating system is a bundle of software. Okay, bundle of software means what? Operating system is not a single piece of software. Operating system always comes with lots of softwares. Okay, these softwares are inbuilt into the operating system. Okay, you need not to install them separately. For example, I'm giving example through Windows 10 operating system. When you are buying or getting a copy of Windows 10 operating system, then only you are not getting operating system, but okay, along with your operating system you are getting the programs and files like calculator, notepad, okay, some basic games, wordpad, and other application like this defragmenter, okay, your antivirus Windows Bitdefender, and also, right? So operating system is a bundle of softwares which is used to handle and manage the various resources available to the computer system in order to perform the given task. So what task you are assigning, like addition, subtraction, printing, playing movie, or others, okay, these all things are handled and managed by your operating system, okay, carried out by your operating system, okay, installed on your computer system, your hardware. So various resources means what? These resources can be your interface through which you are interacting with the hardware. Electricity supply to various internal components. Actually, your CPU, monitor, keyboard, RAM, hard disk, these all needs different frequencies of electric supply, right? Your storage, either your secondary or primary, right? Hard disk or RAM, ROM, hardwares, if you have connected printer, scanner, camera, etc. Users, if you have enabled the guest account or other accounts you have created. Other softwares, what softwares you have installed, like game, MP3 player, video player, and other things. Okay, means everything which made available to your computer, okay, is considered as a resource to your computer system. Fine. Now, our computer system is ready with all the softwares, necessary softwares installed, hardware is ready in front of you, power supply is on. Now, so turning on the system, switching on your system is called booting. Okay, booting is of the two types: warm boot and cold boot. Okay, the first is a cold boot here. The cold boot is what? When a system is a totally shutdown process, is okay. The system is totally power cut off. Okay, screen off, everything is off. At that time, when you are starting your computer first time, okay, that is called cold booting. When a system starts the first time, that is called cold booting, where the BIOS comes into the action and loading you operating system, whether DOS or Windows, whatever you have. Okay, and then it performs the post operation. Okay, means power on self test. Okay, now next, come here the hot booting. What about the hot booting? Okay, hot booting is when your system is already running. At that time, you are restarting your computer. At that time, you are restarting your computer. Just you can see the restarting of computer is called warm boot or hot boot. Is that clear? The cold booting is what? Starting the system from the initial is called cold boot, and restarting the system when the system is already working, that is called the hot boot. Now come to the next. Various functions performed by your operating system. Okay, the first function is here is the memory management. Okay, what is the memory management? The memory management is managing your memory, okay, your RAM, in order to perform the task. In order to perform the task, right? Including the hard disk also, secondary memory also. Now, next is the processor management. Your microprocessor is being managed by your operating system, okay, where your operating system is handling and managing that which program will enter into the microprocessor and how long it will run there. File management, okay, it's managing you all the files, encryption, storage, how they will interpret it, how they will go on your output device, okay, to display. Device management, all the required devices, whether it's your internal like the hard disk, RAM, keyboard, monitor, or external just like printer, camera, etc., is being again managed by your operating system, okay, because they all have to access the CPU and you have only one CPU, right? IO management, all the input output device management. Here specifically only input and output devices comes. Okay, input and output devices like your keyboard, printer, camera, your monitor. Okay, secondary storage management, your hard disk management. Okay, that how the hard RAM and microprocessor, okay, will access your secondary storage, your hard disk, to store the files and to retrieve the files, right? Security, exactly, the security is about the Okay, applying the password on your user account or using the firewall, okay, to stop the unnecessary data flow from the unknown network. About the firewall, you can explore more on internet. Command interpretation. Actually, what commands you are giving, your microprocessor is not receiving those commands in same form. Your microprocessor cannot understand those commands. As you are writing print or you are clicking on a scissor item, right, to perform cut. But your microprocessor is not able to understand those commands. So operating system converting those commands which you are able to understand into the format of the command which microprocessor can understand. Okay, so that is called the command interpretation or command translation. Now, and many other functions are also there. Types of an operating system. Okay, actually, operating systems are categorized on the various basis and criteria. Okay, a few types of are mentioned here. The first is RTOS, real-time operating system. Okay, RTOS are required, or RTOS are those systems, okay, where the delay, the time gap between the input and output is almost negligible, is almost zero. When you are doing any work on your computer and you are getting the result, almost you are, these things are happening in a fraction of second. Okay, fraction of second, assume 1 second. But in case of real time operating system, the time taken by the microprocessor between receiving the data and producing the result is almost negligible, almost zero, right? Just for example, industrial system, radar, okay, in armed forces, okay, fire control mechanism, etc. Single user, single task. These are those operating system where the one user can do one thing at a time. Okay, these are used in low specification systems like your normal mobile phones, etc. Single user multitasking, they can perform multiple tasks, okay, but user is limited, only one user perform the multiple tasks at a time. Best example, Windows. Okay, right now many programs are running on your computer system, but you are the single user. Multi-user, many users can access the computer's resources simultaneously, okay, and there is a work of operating system that which resource will be allocated to whom at what time. Okay, for example, Linux. Now come here, when we are interacting with the operating system, okay, there are two types of interaction. Okay, the way in which you can communicate with the operating system. One is a GUI, graphical user interface, and second is CUI or CLI, both are same. CUI or CLI, both are same. In graphical user interface, you have pictures, you have icons, okay, and with help of mouse, point, click, press, etc., you are performing or doing your task. But command line interface, okay, or character user interface, you have to type the commands. You have to write print space and then write your file name and then hit enter. Then the file will get printed. See here these two interfaces in next screen. This is an example, or this is a screenshot from the Windows 10 GUI interface. See here, you have the pictures, icons of everything where you can click with the help of the mouse. And the next is CUI, character user interface, where you have to type the command, where you have to type the commands. Okay, of course, just you need to decide GUI is easier or CUI is easier. Okay, next. Now when we have started our computer system through the boot process, okay, just assume we had done some work. Now it's very important to properly shut down your computer system. It's very important to properly shut down your operating system. Why? Because when you are not working, when your computer is already running, but you are not working, you have not running any application. At that time also, many applications, many programs, many softwares, many files are running in the background, are running in the background, and it will sudden switch off the main power supply, in that case any file may get corrupt, may get crashed. Okay, that may cause the crashing of your operating system. Okay, or that may cause the data loss to you. Okay, you may lose your data also sometime. So the two methods are as given here. The first is a click on start, then choose a power and choose shutdown, right? And the second is through the command line interface, CUI, press Windows R key on your keyboard. Okay, when the run dialog box will come, then write shutdown space, okay, hyphen S. You can also call minus S space hyphen F space hyphen P space and 00. That 00 is a time, and hit enter. As you hit the enter, your system will shut down. So this is all. Okay, just thanks. If you have any suggestion, feedback, ideas, or if you have faced any problem, you can visit on the link given here and you can submit your valuable feedback. Thank you for watching. Thank you all.